Hello there. How are
Is it
you?
cold still?
Oh, it's pretty cold.
I have some refreshments over in the dining room here. There's some hot tea and hot coffee, hot cider, some snacks. Help yourself.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I figured we would just read in here since it's got a nice warm fireplace.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. If it wasn't snowing, I'd probably be doing this outside in the courtyard then. Well, I'll wait a little while. I know how people can be. In about 10 minutes or so.
Sounds reasonable.
But if it's just me and you, that's fine with me, as long as I have somebody to talk to. I've got a couple notes written down. Just like little discussion points, but we can talk about whatever. I think some of my siblings might be here, but I'm not sure. They're all kind of doing their own thing.
Fair enough.
Were you able to attend the first meeting? I was there, but it was very dusty, so I don't know who was there.
I was not. I don't remember what I was busy doing, but maybe it was sleeping. Oh, jeez.
I don't know about that. So how have you been? What have you been doing?
Jeez, what have I been doing? This bloody state fair
Oh yeah.
had gosh, two presentations at the marketplace. Going through how to make cheese and then how we do engravings and etchings for Harrison Clockworks.
Mm-hmm.
And then the horse race. And then teaching my friend how to waltz so he can get ready for the ball.
Oh yes, that's coming up, isn't it?
Oh, and then... Oh, I also had the lesson for my apprentice on yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It was a busy week. And most of it
like
all happened that yesterday. What about yourself?
Well, I've been relaxing at home a little bit, but we're still working on getting the production going for the play. We got one sold out show. The earlier show still has some tickets available, but it's pretty exciting that so many people actually want to see it.
Then I'm very glad my friend grabbed a ticket for me before I forgot.
Mm-hmm. I have to check with Zoe, but she said there's one at 6 o'clock and there's one at 8 o'clock.
Mhm.
8 o'clock one is sold out. 6 o'clock she said was about half sold. So, but that was a couple days ago, so it might be sold out by now. But I'm very excited.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we put a lot of work into it, but it's gonna be worth it. Got a really great cast of people. I've pretty much just been planning this, um, working out what we're gonna read next, which I've planned already, and I think it's gonna be fun. Something a little different.
I'm excited.
I'm trying to keep it short too. I don't want to give everyone like a 500-page book to read or anything like that. That's a lot. And we all got lives and things to do, so
Very true.
when is the ball? Is it next weekend?
If there's a second ball, I've no idea. But the ball I meant was the one that was, what was it, last night?
Oh darn, I did
Topping
miss
off
it,
the-
didn't I?
Eh,
I was planning to go, but I'm not much of a dancer though. I'm more of a people watcher. I think it annoys my sisters because they're all about the dancing and revelry and everything like that. But I just prefer to watch people having fun. That's my own. That's my brand of fun. Did you attend it?
I did not make it to the ball, no.
All right. So I know one of my friends was going to ask someone to go with her. I have to check up with her and see how that went. Did you get to read the book?
I did.
Great. I feel like I've read it about 6 times by now. I read it all the way through, and then I have to keep going back because I wrote a couple of the scenes for the play, which we just have to very much condense down the story to a version where it can be performed.
I imagine.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was challenging, but it was pretty enjoyable to do. Well, I am glad you're here. I was worried nobody was gonna come. I tried to make reminders throughout the last couple weeks or whatever, but and I had plenty of people talking to me saying, "Oh, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'm so excited." And, this is the test right here.
Suppose it is. I'm glad I could make it. I can't ride a horse right now. But I got a
Yeah, I see
carriage,
that.
so
I was in your same situation not too long ago, where I couldn't ride a horse or I couldn't even drive a wagon. I had to have someone take me around in a wagon because
jeez.
my arm was injured and I had been kicked in the chest by a horse. So
Good God.
it was terrible. I had to wear a medical corset, which I don't wear a corset regularly anyway. I had to keep my my rib cage still as possible so it could heal, which meant I couldn't ride on a horse. I had to ride in a wagon, but I had also been kicked about a couple days later by a different horse in the arm.
Jesus.
So my arm was very, very injured, and I couldn't control the reins. I'm small. I can't control a horse, even with two hands sometimes. One of my brothers was nice enough to cart me around, be my valet, my chauffeur. So I feel your pain there. I'll give everybody a couple minutes still. I know the weather's kind of... Oh, it's really kicking up out there. Well, there's somebody. Oh, it might be one of my sisters. Hey, sis.
Hey.
You look frozen.
Sorry?
You say you look frozen.
That's because I am. I was not wearing the right clothes for the weather.
Dining room, there's some hot drinks and snacks. Help yourself.
Okay. Gotcha. Alright, thank you.
I wonder if my brother's gonna be here. I know he had talked about wanting to be here.
Did any of them get a chance to read it too?
Not sure. I think whenever Emma's done getting some refreshments, we can start talking. Oh no, that stray cat is out there. Maybe he'll come inside. He comes inside sometimes.
Poor thing.
Yeah. He's a little skittish though. I try to coax him to come in here and, you know. Feel a little better?
Yeah. I don't know, my stomach's like not doing great right now, so.
Oh, all right. If you need to lay down, you know, there's a spare bedroom upstairs.
I know. No, I'll wait. It's okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we'll go ahead and start. So we have Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens here. It's a pretty famous story. One about greed, what's really important, and redemption. But there's a few things I want to talk about that I don't know that just sort of came to me while I was reading this. And feel free to bring up any kind of point you want about this story. Anything that stuck with you, or you want to just see what everybody else thinks about, if someone had the same thoughts as you, anything like that. Feel free, whatever. I mean, it's just us, so you don't really got to talk over anybody here.
Fair enough. I honestly thought there were going to be more people. Sorry.
Me as well. I had a lot of people express interest, and yeah, it just happens sometimes.
Mm.
But okay.
Alright.
So the start of the book is really kind of just really laying out the character of Scrooge. and giving many examples of his miserliness, his cruelty, and just how miserable he is. And I find it very interesting that although he is very wealthy and he really wants for nothing, he doesn't live like it. The place is dark and cold. His home is dark and cold, and he's still frugal to the point of almost living as poor as Cratchit, just to save his money or whatever it may be. How did you feel about that? How do you think that illustrates his character?
Are we talking about just in the context of the first section or upon reflection?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it could be either. I mean, we could just start with like the first section when he's being introduced and just like his house and everything. He lives in a large house and everything, but it's not a
Pretty-
happy setting.
Yeah, pretty bare and
Mm-hmm.
dreary. Jeez, I don't.
I mean, I feel like it's just kind of from the very beginning. I mean, he has all material want that he could. He has money, he has a house, he has servants, he has the business and everything, but he really doesn't have anything.
Doesn't even enjoy the money, really.
He doesn't.
Just
Exactly.
dragon hoard of it, and
Just lays on top of it. Mm-hmm. Just like a dragon. What do you feel like was the significance of the visitor he had at the beginning? The man looking for charity.
To show him somebody that he knew, so that he would see what was awaiting him if he continued down the path.
I'm talking about the man that was seeking charity at the beginning.
Oh, at the beginning. I thought
Yes.
you meant the first go. Never mind.
No.
I'm done.
No, it's okay.
Yes,
because he runs into his nephew, who is an interesting character. We'll talk about, but since we're kind of talking about Scrooge's character,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Dickens just kind of dives right into it,
he really does.
Yeah.
basically. And I do know that Dickens did do a lot of live readings of this story, so I believe that he did kind of craft the story in a way that he could basically get to the point, not bore his audience.
It definitely reads like that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I really liked his. What do you call that? His little asides. They're very charming.
Mm-hmm.
But the visitor. So I mean, I go out of my way to, like, if someone needs help, I'll go out of my way to help them. Whereas Scrooge has someone do all the work for him. The only thing they're asking for is money. Like, they've done all the legwork and everything else, and he still can't manage that. Even though he's dragon hoarding.
Exactly. And they don't even ask him for an amount. Like,
Yeah,
say
they let
anything.
him
He
set
could've-
it. Yeah.
He could have given them a penny and that would have been something. But instead he doesn't only respond with, "I'm not giving you anything." He responds with some very
Just let him
malicious
die.
comments. Basically, yeah, saying, aren't the poorhouses still open? Are they still working? Did I miss something? It is downright malicious. And the way where he says, they should just die and decrease the population.
Oof.
Do everybody a favor and die. I mean, do you think he really meant that? Or was he
At
just
the time,
being grumpy?
maybe, to be honest.
That's one thing I always kind of guess about Scrooge, is if he actually means it or if he just really wants people to leave him to stew in his own misery.
So, I don't know. He has a weird, or I guess he has a certain worldview where he feels like um, you should work for everything you have, because probably he's worked his entire life
That is true.
for the stuff that he has. So that's probably why at the beginning he doesn't believe in charity.
Since
Because
nobody
he
ever
never
showed
got
him
any.
any. That is a good point, and that's interesting because that's usually more of a positive trait about somebody who has become something from nothing, and he becomes, rich and everything that so many people dream of from nothingness. But he's not happy, and he doesn't stop there. He has to make everyone around him unhappy as well, which I think is pretty typical of unhappy people.
Yeah.
Misery loves company. Yeah. So let's talk about Fred real quick, because is one of the first people he encounters in the story is his nephew, Fred. Fred is Scrooge doesn't deserve his nephew, because even the way he is, Fred still doesn't give up on him. He still wants him to come dine and meet his wife and be a part of his family. And even though I feel like this is probably not the first time Scrooge has basically told him to go away, leave me alone, he probably does this every year.
Absolutely.
Why do you think he's so persistent? Why won't he just let it go?
Maybe Scrooge wasn't always like that.
Maybe.
I mean, I would think if he was always like that, then his nephew wouldn't have such an attachment to him in the first place.
Maybe his mom told him, if that's not true, and he has always been a grump, at the very least, probably his mother told him stories about. It's his sister, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He had one sister.
At the very least, there must have been stories that his sister told. Scrooge's sister told his nephew about how probably he used to be. But, he probably, the slow descent into misery. Probably that.
And Fred seems like somebody family is very important to. And since Fan, his mother, Scrooge's sister, passed away fairly young, Scrooge is pretty much the only family he has, besides his wife and everything like that. And I think that maybe is his last connection to his mother. But I don't know. I think it's a good thing that he never gave up on him. And I know back when Scrooge was young, I'm sorry to jump around, but he and his sister were very close. And I think that's maybe why Scrooge just doesn't completely shut out his nephew. I'm sure he could if he wanted to. But he's still kind of the only thing left from his sister as well. All right. Now, the next kind of character that is a foil to Scrooge is Bob Cratchit, his clerk. Now, Bob Cratchit has nothing, but he is happy and fulfilled. He has a family he loves very much. It's a pretty obvious, other side of the coin of Scrooge. Although Scrooge still does kind of take it easy on Cratchit. He does let him have Christmas. Although he tells him he has to work twice as hard the next day. But how do you feel about the characterization of Bob Cratchit? Look, you don't hear me? Oh, okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Well, if we're going with the hard-working thing, which we should, I mean, Bob Cratchit works super hard.
Harder than he should, probably.
But, there's, I don't know how to say the rest of the sentence. There's just forces, working against him.
Mm-hmm. Well, his situation isn't uncommon with a lot of people in London at that time. He's lucky to have work, really. Even though he gets paid nothing, basically, for his work. But I also think, especially later on, when you kind of learn a little bit more about Scrooge and where he came from, I think he's kind of turns into a reminder of what Scrooge used to be when he was starting out working hard, when he did.
Exactly. I was actually, when we were talking about dragon hoarding, I was almost thinking maybe he feels the need to hoard because he doesn't want to end up in a situation like he was when he was younger, but he doesn't know how to. So he's so worried about that he doesn't know how to actually enjoy or spread the gifts he has.
No, you're right. I think that's true in general, kind of about some people that have wealth. Is that they're so scared to not be wealthy that they just hold on to it and do nothing with it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, they did all of this work, or have all this wealth where they could have quite an enjoyable life and make the lives of other people a lot easier. But they just choose to do nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it's, irrational fear.
I suppose. But it's interesting that we see right from the beginning that he is unhappy. He has everything. He still unhappy. And I think it's interesting as well, going back to the visitor that asked him for charity, how he mentions Marley. And that he was hoping that Scrooge would kind of be the same as Marley. So are we guessing that Marley must have given money to charity?
At least a little.
I mean, that's kind of what I guessed from what he was saying. Oh, I'm hoping that you would follow suit of your business partner.
He could have also been manipulating the situation, though.
True. Could have been. I mean, he does, in fact, show up and say, "Are you Scrooge or Marley?" He doesn't know who's who.
Yeah, so, I mean, how could he know who Marley was if he doesn't recognize that the guy in front of him isn't Marley?
That is true. Now, okay, well, this is a good time to start talking about Marley. So when Scrooge goes home after letting Cratchit go for the evening and everything, he sees an image on his door knocker that looks like Marley's face. Do you think that that was actually Marley showing up, saying, "I'm here, I am being let in"? Or do you think he was just kind of, "Oh, I see Jim coming in.
Oh, good stuff.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Are you there?
We are not too far in a discussion.
Oh, good.
And there's some hot drinks and snacks over in the dining room if you want to grab something real quick.
Tea and
Okay,
cakes.
I might just take. All right. Well, I'll be right back.
Uh-huh. Oh, I laid out some copies of the book there too, if you want to grab one.
Oh, yep. Yeah. scooch closer to you to make a little room.
All right, get yourself warmed up.
Okay.
All right. Well, we just started talking about the beginning of the book, kind of a little bit about Scrooge's nephew, about the visitor asking for money for charity, just a little bit about Scrooge's characterization, how he's portrayed as having everything and still being miserable and living almost as if he is as poor as Marley, with no real material to show for it.
A stingy fella.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And we just started talking about Marley and how when Scrooge returns home, he sees Marley's face on the door knocker. And if
Right.
we feel like that's actually his ghost arriving, or if Scrooge is just having being reminded of Marley, especially on this time of year where he passed away 7 years ago. If he was just kind of seeing things.
It's his conscience coming through, maybe.
Yeah.
I was
think it might
always
be-
curious about that. If it's literally his face appears as a door knocker or in the reflection of it.
Mm-hmm. Kind of seems like Scrooge sees it. And then when he actually really looks at it, he doesn't see it.
Right, right.
So I'm wondering if that's kind of, there is sort of a story in, supernatural stories about different creatures needing to be invited in. If maybe that was his type of message saying, I'm coming in.
Oh, maybe.
Why do you think it would be the door knocker, though? Do you think that is kind of a symbolism of, I'm inviting myself in?
Probably. I just assumed it was some kind of, well, them knockers, they look frightening sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Like
there's some...
gargoyles or some such thing.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I've seen some of those.
I do like
Sort of
that.
had it in my head that maybe Dickens, I saw one of them and thought, how frightening would it be if that was someone you knew?
Mm-hmm.
I feel about them paintings, creepy old portrait paintings.
Uh-huh.
What if you recognize someone in there?
Oh, no. So after Scrooge has been trying to settle down for the night, when Marley's ghost appears, and he, of course, thinks he's just a hallucination. He thinks he's dreaming, he ate something bad, and he's just a bad dream. Do you think there's any truth to that? Do you think maybe he was just having a bad dream? Or do you think Dickens kind of includes that to make it ambiguous either way?
I don't know.
It's interesting to think about.
Indeed. But conversely, I have known some folks who were, how'd you say it, just set in their ways.
Mm-hmm.
Sure that no matter what, that they were correct.
Mm-hmm.
Or even when all evidence points to the contrary. But Mr. Scrooge strikes me as the type.
Yes. Very much so. But I do think it's interesting that Dickens frames all of these encounters as nighttime when he'd be sleeping. So it does leave that ambiguity of, is this really happening or is he dreaming?
It really does.
It's true. That's true. I hadn't thought about that.
Mm-hmm. So Marley shows up and he has this chain, which is a very significant symbol. And he tells Scrooge that his chain is still being forged, and that the chain that he wears, that Marley wears, which is long and loud and heavy, he basically tells Scrooge, this was your chain, 7 some years ago. You've been working on it hard ever since.
That to me is one of the scariest parts.
It is. It really is.
Don't that just make you want to find a mirror?
Yeah.
Make sure there's no chain around you. I'm brushing off my shoulders just in case.
Mm-hmm.
I lied. The actual scariest part is the part where Marley says that he's with him all the time, but he's only seen him now.
That is kind of scary, isn't it?
Ugh.
Why do
Don't
you
wanna
think? I mean, going off of traditional beliefs, when people pass, their spirits move on. Why do you think Marley didn't move on? Why is he so attached to Scrooge? Do you think he just couldn't leave his wealth? So I kind of feel like Marley is sort of an example of what Scrooge is going to become after death.
That too.
Right.
Don't they say something about ghosts hold on to guilt?
Something like that.
Yeah, there's something in there about that. But if they can't complete the business they should have in life, etc.
In my mind, it's something a little different. The reason Scrooge redeems himself is because while he's still alive, he kind of decides to change. But once you're dead, there's just, what are you changing for?
That is
There's
true.
there's no incentive for change at that point.
It's too late.
Mm-hmm.
And Marley does mention that he doesn't want to be there. He is being commanded. You're being told to do what he's doing. Do you feel like it's a higher power telling him to do it, or is it his own guilt that we had talked about? I'm not sure if there was any actual affection between the two. They're any more than business partners. Yeah, what do you think he means when he's saying he doesn't want to do this, he has to do it?
I guess the rest of the spirits in the book have pretty strict rules. So maybe there is some sort of hierarchy?
But why Scrooge? Why does he deserve it? That's what I
See,
always
that's the
wondered
question.
hearing this story. It was like, why of all people does he deserve this chance?
Because
Maybe
he has
it's
a
not
lot
happening
to
for him. Oh,
give.
sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. He has a lot
Well,
to
that's
give,
a good
actually.
point. Maybe it ain't about him. Maybe it's about what he can do.
His potential?
His potential for good.
Or on the other hand, maybe a bunch of people get this opportunity, but they squander it.
Could be.
Or they just say, oh, that was a bad dream. Back to my old ways as
They're
soon
the
as they
ones
wake
that
up.
dismiss it as a dream.
Or they just say, I don't care. I want to do what I'm going to do now. I'm not going to share my money. I mean, Marley is a pretty terrifying figure to Scrooge. And do you think it's significant that it's somebody he knew very well and not just some other random ghost? Because the other 3 ghosts that visit him, aren't people he knows. They aren't former family members or business partners.
Oh yeah, I think if it had just been a random ghost, he would have been like, no, this is definitely a dream.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it was part of Marley's punishment. I don't know if it ever mentions. I don't believe it does, but I don't know. Maybe Marley's getting something out of this sort of community service.
I don't know what he could
Maybe.
get though that he would want.
Well, they mentioned something about the business of helping humanity, don't he?
Mm-hmm. Well, we talked a little bit about it before. When the visitor is asking for money, he does say, "Oh, well, your old partner Marley. I would think you would follow suit from him and donate money, but we're not sure if he was just being a salesman or if Marley actually did begrudgingly give to charity."
Right.
Oh, was that the? I wrote this quote down, but I didn't write down who said it. Taking care of your fellow man is the business of everyone. Was it Marley who said that, or was it just
Let me see.
Dickens?
I think so. Because Scrooge keeps saying that's none of my business. All right, I'm saying I think so. But you all got the book in front of you, and I'm just drinking
yeah.
coffee.
Oh,
You're
No,
fine.
you're fine. You're fine. No, Scrooge is very much not caring about anybody else's business, so that does seem in character for him. All right.
I did want to kind of say one thing because we're focusing a lot on the money aspect, but I think it's more about the emotions behind what he's doing than it is about the money itself. Like if he had a lot of money, but he was a kind person, and for example, you've worked hard, I'll give you a bonus, or even like maybe I won't give to the needy, but I'll go work in the soup kitchen. Like it's not necessarily about the money, it's about the intentions behind the things that he does.
Why do you think he
Yeah.
chooses not to do anything though? I mean, he could be, squanderer and not spend any money and still help people. Like you said, he could just donate time. Time is free.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Time is money, right? So if he's worried about the future, if he's worried about not having money in the future and making sure that he can prevent that outcome, then he wouldn't want to waste any time. And to him, helping people who are needy is a waste of time because in his mind, they can just go get a job.
Right, or die.
Or die. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we can move on to talk about his first visitor, who is the Ghost of Christmas Past. And I believe, let me see if I can find the description. Because I do feel like the way the ghosts are described is important.
I think this might be the strangest one. At least to me.
Here we go. It was a strange figure, like a child, yet not so like a child as like an old man, viewed through some supernatural medium, which gave him the appearance of having receded from the view and being diminished to a child's proportions. Its hair, which hung about its neck and down its back, was white as if it with age, and yet the face had not a wrinkle in it. The tenderest bloom was on the skin. The arms were very long and muscular, the hands the same, as if its hold were of uncommon strength. His legs and feet, most delicately formed, were, like those upper members, bare. He wore a tunic of the purest white, and round its waist was bound a lustrous belt, the sheen of which was beautiful. It held a branch of fresh green holly in its hand, and its singular contradiction of the wintry emblem had its dress trimmed with summer flowers. But the strangest thing about it was from the crown of its head that sprung a bright, clear jet of light, by which all was that visible. which was doubtless an occasion of using in its duller moments a great extinguisher for a cat, which is now held under its arm. So quite a strange creature.
But yeah. But is the part about the arms after that? I should just pull out my book. I don't know why I'm asking. Hang on.
Sorry if you can hear my cat is around here somewhere.
It's all right.
Yeah, quite a interesting portrayal of the spirit. It almost seems to be angelic in a way.
Cherubic, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But why do you think it looks like a child and an old man and a grown person and a child, and it's very much kind of everything at once?
Because it's supposed to be the personification of the past,
Mhm.
and the past is all time periods prior to now. So, in the span of a life, especially Scrooge's life, by the time this is happening, he's pretty old.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it would make sense that the spirit would be young, adult, and old if it's trying to personify, what it represents.
Do you think that's why it kind of represents the different seasons as well? It has sort of like the winter holly and the summer flowers at the same time.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a very interesting figure. And I think this part of the story is probably one of the most important when it comes to letting us know where Scrooge came from. He had a sister, which he was very, very fond of, and him and his father did not get along, and that's why he was sent to this boarding school, and he was not welcomed home during the holidays. I believe he was sometimes the only one that was left behind. Do you think that sort of started his dislike for the holiday season? I think that was part of it.
Absolutely.
Probably.
Yeah, I believe that was kind of like the start of it, and then Marley dying on Christmas was probably just sort of a cherry on top. But yep, I was right. This is the absolute worst time of year.
You know what? Actually, forget Christmas.
Yeah, forget the whole
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
What the hell is it for anyway? I like this part a lot.
It is really good.
It's true to life in a way that I wasn't expecting. There's a cruelty very rarely seems to start with one person.
Exactly.
Well, it don't excuse nobody's actions, but it does explain them. I wish there was a sequel where we got to see what the ghost had to say to Scrooge's father.
Yeah,
or
true.
a prequel, as the case may be.
Perhaps. So a very significant character in his past was his old master, Fezziwig.
Oh, good old Fezziwig. Everyone loves him.
True. Everybody did love him. Him and his wife. And they held many parties, and he was a very good boss.
Great dancer.
And I think it's interesting how quickly Scrooge starts to just become nostalgic, and he really starts to involve his feelings just kind of wake up so quickly, which makes me think they weren't behind a very thick wall.
Right. I was wondering about do you folks think that there's some kind of hypnosis or something going on with this?
Oh, perhaps.
I just mean not in a literal sense, but there seems to be something odd going on that I didn't quite understand. At first, it seems like the ghost can read his minds, his thoughts, because he's thinking about putting it out, and the ghost just says that don't do that. What the hell, man?
Maybe this ghost is very peculiar, because I believe this ghost was there the whole time. Yeah.
You mean like watching in the background the whole time? Or?
Perhaps, yes.
Well, to me, it seems kind of all-knowing of things that happened in the past. So anything that he thought, after he thought it, it would know. If it was like
that's true.
Kind of that kind of spirit, you know?
All right.
Yeah, going back to the description of this spirit, I always kind of wonder if they look as to how Scrooge would project this spirit looking.
Oh, and that's why it changes a bit.
Maybe that's why he can't really put a good description of what this spirit looks like. Because he is old, so his past does encompass quite a lifetime.
Yeah.
Many years.
Memories are not... What do you call it? Always reliable.
That's true.
Always solid.
Why do you think he has the light coming from his head? That's always struck me as a very strange thing.
Oh no. Well, illuminating the past, maybe.
Maybe. But Fezziwig.
Good old Fezziwig.
Good old Fezziwig. Scrooge becomes very, very nostalgic when he sees him again. And he talks very much about how he was such a good boss, and he had parties for them and all kinds of festivities, and he made sure all of his apprentices were well taken care of, and not just as a boss, as financially, but as a friend, as a father figure, as a mentor. And why do you think that was so poignant for him? To see him again. Especially if we feel like the ghost is bringing memories to him that he wants to see.
I mean, certainly Fezziwig helped him become the man he is today, both, well, actually probably just for the better, but maybe also for the worse, who knows. But I forgot the rest of my sentence. The thoughts were too fast.
Lightning speed.
Oh, that it doesn't take terribly much effort to just bring joy to people.
Absolutely. And Fezziwig did pay out of his pocket for everything that he did for them.
Just a little kindness and effort, and
and we can see how much it meant to Scrooge. How much these parties and just showing that little bit of effort towards him and other apprentices, how that stuck with him.
But also that it does take deliberate effort.
Absolutely. but it's worth it. I mean, he affected the lives of many people just from those little shows of kindness.
Sometimes all you got to do is do a really great dance and buy some champagne.
Yeah. Fond memories are made.
Did you have a good time last night?
Sure.
Oh,
Oh, dear.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I don't think it was really my crowd.
Fair
I'll say
enough.
that much. Although there was a shockingly little ballroom dancing.
Damn.
Indeed.
No waltzing?
Not a single step of it.
For shame.
Which is what I feared. That's why I kept asking. You folks got a ballroom dance for real? With Mr. Forte playing? Okay. You say so.
Oh,
And
that
of course they didn't. Of course they didn't. But that's okay. The champagne was delicious. Yeah, I don't know. It sticks with you.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Scrooge, I mean, they lacking a father in the first place, and well, looking back on it, he's quite ashamed, as he should be, about how he's treated his own employee.
He does say that. He does say that he wishes to talk to Bob after seeing him and remembering what a good boss Fezziwig was. And, he kind of starts wondering, what went wrong with me? Why am I such a terrible boss? I think that's just kind of showing him that he is a terrible boss.
Indeed.
What do you think he would have liked to say to Cratchit at that moment?
Whoops. Sorry you gotta freeze to death every day. And you can't afford a jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Least I could do is pay you a fair wage, if not buy you some champagne every now and then. Or a goose or whatever.
Absolutely. I don't think he would go so far as to wanting to give him an apology because he's still, Scrooge. But
He's working up to it.
I think so. I think so. I don't think he's had to apologize to anybody for a very long time. So
Indeed.
I think he's starting to feel guilty. Because he basically is reminded how affecting his boss was when he was young and he had nothing and nobody, and how much it changed him for the better, and he sees himself doing the opposite. And maybe he feels ashamed. Maybe he feels like he's failed Fezziwig.
Yeah, I suppose in a way he has, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm. I think that's the start of it.
Dishonoring the memory.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much, yes. Now his sister is the one that comes to the school and tells him he's allowed to come home, finally. And he very much loved his sister. Talks of her very, very fondly. And I think probably when she passed, that's probably the best part of him going with her. I mean, he might have been way more affected by that than he'd like to admit. Because she seems like she really loved him too, and maybe the only person that really loved him at that point. I mean, he did have a sweetheart. What was her name? I forgot already.
I don't know that did they give her a name?
I don't know. Anyway, his love interest. I mean, he really seemed like he had it made. He had, a beautiful girl. He had potential. He had training. He had education. He had family, and he just decided that he was gonna be married to his work.
Pretty much. I like that. I mean, I don't like that, but I like the way you put it.
Mm-hmm. And he has deep regret once he sees her again, his lady friend. And it seems like he probably hasn't thought about her in a long time. But he seems deeply regretful about his decision.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think she was a smart girl. I think she saw the signs. And by setting him free and giving back his ring and letting him go as hard as it could have been, it was probably the best for her, honestly.
Absolutely.
Definitely. She's the best one in this play. Or the book. Sorry, I got the play on the mind.
But Fred, though.
Fred's
But
pretty great.
Fred is pretty great, actually.
He
I mean,
has
show his
those,
Fezziwig.
he has those good singers.
Right.
What was in the first section? Scrooge said, "What right have you to be happy?" And he retorts, "What right have you to be dismal? You're rich enough." Ah, it was so good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's great.
I really think that Scrooge's love for his sister is why he lets his nephew
Oh
talk
no,
to him
absolutely.
like that. Bless Fred, though. Never gives up on him. His grumpy old uncle. Yeah, I think this part was very emotionally traumatizing for Scrooge. And I think he really kind of deserved it, though. He needed a quick reminder of everything.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Does he, am I recalling right? Let me look through this. Does he start shouting at his younger self?
He does. Yeah, several times.
Good, he ought to.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, hindsight is 2020, you know, like the saying says. So now that he knows how everything turned out, he is probably really wishing that he could hear himself and say, "Don't do that, you fool."
Indeed.
It is interesting that we are shown very significant moments in his past that seem to be the catalyst for where he ends up. And do you think that's a coincidence, or do you think he just always knew? Or do you think it's the spirit that knew?
I think the spirit's showing him chain of events.
Mm-hmm. Everything that led to it?
Mm-hmm. And it's doing it in a way that it kind of forces him to feel.
Yes.
Because he's been, holding back all those feelings for so long, he doesn't really know how to... He doesn't even remember those things because he's just been putting them behind the wall for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So when the ghost starts showing him, he gets the memories and the flood of emotion that comes with them.
Mm-hmm. Because you can't say that he doesn't have the opportunity. His nephew won't leave him alone. So it's not like, oh, I haven't spoken to my family in years. It's like he's still there. He's still trying to connect with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like
but
it
he
or
does
not.
block him out completely, pushes him away, and kind of, doesn't even want to look at him.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because when he looks at him, he sees
His sister.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is true, but the opportunity is there.
Mm-hmm.
No, Fred still won't give up on him.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fred kind of strikes me as one of those people that does see kind of the potential for good in people.
Mm-hmm.
I think even though he knows his uncle is grumpy and old and pushes everybody away, that, like you said before, I think maybe his mother said something, or maybe he just sees that in him. That there is that little tiny speck of light in the darkness. And it hasn't gone out yet. Maybe that's the light, the crown.
There you go.
Could be.
Perhaps.
Actually, that sounds pretty nice. I
Mhm.
like that interpretation.
Yeah.
Maybe that is a connection. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because as cold and malicious as Scrooge presents himself in the beginning, it doesn't take much for him to completely almost break down by seeing these memories of his past.
Man, think about it. You know, you have, oh, well, I don't know, what's a good analogy? Maybe stitching on clothes. If you cut the right, pieces of the string, the whole thing falls apart.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to know where to pluck.
You got to find those wounds that never fully healed, poke them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is. I don't know. Maybe that is also like kind of the symbolism of the light of the all-seeing, saying, I've seen everything that's happened to you that's led up to here, and this is the chain of events that led to where you are now.
The illumination of the sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, let me think. Is there anything else significant from the past? I think we covered that pretty good. So yeah, that was pretty emotionally taxing for him, I believe. And when the ghost leaves, let me find the place here.
Oh, well, there is the part, of course, where we see whatever happened at Scrooge's sweetheart.
Oh, with her family? Wait, was that in the... Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Being happy with her family, having not married him.
Yeah, I am for her.
Oh, is it Belle?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. Belle. I thought that maybe they didn't give her a name, but it's the one part here has her name.
Oh, this part here is where I was looking for at the end. When Scrooge is saying, you leave me alone, I can't bear it any longer. He takes the cap from the spirit and puts it on its head over the light.
Yeah.
He extinguishes it like a candle.
Plunging the past back into darkness.
What a grouch.
Mm-hmm. All right, so he's awoken again by the second spirit. Oof, I little.
Oh my. You folks know any coal miners?
Not coal specifically.
Oh. I was just wondering if we could get one of our hands on one of them a hats with the candles on it.
I wonder if Rush has one.
Oh. You might just. Probably won't be bright enough anyway for a stage, but worth a shot. It's funny. I've never been to a book club before. Feel like I'm back in the schoolhouse. It's interesting.
Oh, Sorry, I was in my thoughts. What did I miss something?
No, not much. I
Okay.
think Miss Sin just stepped out for a moment.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. I had a bit of a headache.
It's okay.
No worries.
Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah. All right. Where were we?
The
We
big
were about to say-
extinguisher on.
Oh, yes. We're going to start talking about the second ghost.
Ghost a Christmas present.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite ghost. Because he is
Me too.
also scathing.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Indeed.
He doesn't
Uh,
he doesn't let Scrooge get away with anything.
He
Mhm.
doesn't. And his flamboyance is also something to love as well. I mean, not only does he show up looking like he does, but he transforms Scrooge's own bedroom. Let me read this part. It was his own room, there was no doubt about that, but it had undergone a surprising transformation. The walls and ceiling were so hung with living green that it looked a perfect grove, from every part of which bright gleaming berries glistened. The crisp leaves of holly, mistletoe, and ivy reflected back the light, as if so many little mirrors had been scattered there. Such a mighty blaze went roaring up the chimney that a dull petrification of a hearth had never known in Scrooge's time, or Marley's. For many years and many winter seasons gone, heaped upon the floor to form a kind of throne were turkeys, geese, game, poultry, brawn, great joints of meat, suckling pigs, long wreaths of sausage, mince pies, plum puddings, barrels of oysters, red-hot chestnuts, cherry-cheeked apples, juicy oranges, luscious pearls, immense twelfth cakes, seething bowls of punch that made the chamber dim with their delicious steam. In easy state upon the couch there sat a jolly giant, glorious to see, who bore a glowing torch, in shape not unlike Plenty's horn, and held it up high to shed light upon Scrooge as he came peeping around the door. Quite a tableau.
Indeed.
He showed
Gotta
up in
get this
style.
feller into do decorations around here.
I know.
Bacchus energy.
Very much so. Very much so.
Indeed.
As for the spirit, it was clothed in one simple green robe or mantle bordered with white fur. This garment hung so loosely on the figure that his capacious breast was bare, as if disdaining to be warded or concealed by any artifice. Its feet, observably beneath the ample folds of the garment, were also bare, while its head it wore no other covering than a holly wreath, set here and there with shining icicles. Its dark brown curls were long and free as its genial face, its sparkling eyes, and its open hand and cheery voice, an unconstrained demeanor, and its joyful air. Girded around its middle was an antique scabbard, but no sword was in it, and the ancient sheath was eaten up with rust.
That was a curious part of it. What do you folks think that's about?
About
The scabbard, I mean. Or the rusty scabbard without a sword in it. It's kind of,
that is interesting.
I don't know. But maybe it's a peace and goodwill kind of thing. Like, I got a fancy scabbard, but it's got no weapon in it.
Maybe that's saying I am armed, but my weapon is not a sword.
No.
Because his weapon seems to be words.
Right.
But why do you think the display, the tableau, the food and the plants and the decor surrounding the spirit? What do you think the significance is of that?
A show of power, maybe?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe even a show of both, definitely, but maybe a show of also, like, you could be enjoying these things instead of sitting on your dragon horde, but here you are.
Very
Here's
much
what you're
so.
missing out on.
Uh-huh. He's very much a, like you said, Bacchus energy, very much hedonism and just enjoying life and luxury. Well, what do you think that has to do with the present day?
You should enjoy every day. Like it's gonna be your last.
Perhaps, yeah.
Considering the next ghost is,
It is your last goodbye.
I kind of think it's a symbolism of the potential of each day of the present. There's so much there, and there's so much to be enjoyed, but people like Scrooge just turn their nose up at it. And he's so carefree. I mean, he that's just the thing. He's just so carefree. He has no worries. He just wants to enjoy the day.
Hey, he's living in the moment, huh?
Yeah, precisely.
That's the Latin phrase. Carpe diem.
Carpe diem.
Seize the
But
day.
it was that mean? Oh, quick.
I don't know. I think it might be a commentary on the fact that he's hoarding all this wealth for the future while not enjoying the present. But all of your enjoyment really happens in the present.
Yeah, it does.
Exactly.
If you just hoard for the future, you never enjoy anything.
Exactly. For a future that'll never come. You got
Yeah.
it.
Fred was right.
Because you never know when
That's
death is
right.
going to come for you.
It's true.
Just saying, every day this smorgasbord is placed before you of all the things you could do every day and enjoy and share, and he chooses not to. He chooses to let it rot.
Actually, that to jump ahead just a little bit, that actually kind of a little bit bookends the part with his nephew. What the notes I wrote down anyway were his nephew, even though in their whole group everyone's kind of ribbing him for like still attempting to make pleasant contact with his uncle. He's still there extending his hand to Scrooge. The happiness is there and accessible to Scrooge. You just have to take the hand. So I think that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that the food is sort of a theme as well, because Fred invites him to dine with them. His memories, like with Fezziwig and everything, has to do with with eating and drinking and everything. And I think that's just kind of a symbol of like joy and sharing with others, sharing that joy with others.
Absolutely.
Because food is a really good symbol for that.
My goodness, the
with
food in this part.
There's a lot of it.
The turkey with the Cratchits. All
Exactly.
of that. All of it.
Exactly.
You need it to live, but you can also enjoy it.
Absolutely. Breaking bread is something way back.
Well, food brings people together.
Absolutely. And it's also a symbol of sharing as well, sharing what you have with others. But yeah, I think that's kind of why he's symbolized as such. And he is a very sassy individual. Like you said, he lets Scrooge get away with nothing.
Oh my goodness. The part with Tiny Tim. Oh my god.
Oh, it's devastating.
Yes, he does take Scrooge to see the Cratchits, and poor little Tiny Tim, and he's so happy, and I think he's not unaware of his own situation. He seems like a bright kid. He knows that he is probably not long for this world, or that, he isn't well. And I think that's why he says what he does about going around the church and showing everyone how happy he is, even though he's in the state he's in.
Goodness, it's heartbreaking.
It really is.
Even in that, he goes around just trying to bring joy to people, make some good out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Or just saying, look at me. The folks like me remember, the reason for the season, etc.
Exactly. And he's so young and tiny, and he really knows nothing of the world. He's only, I don't know if they actually give how old he is, but yeah, he's pretty young. And he already has this sense of wanting to bring happiness and joy to other people and charity. Even though he has nothing, he doesn't even have his health. And I think Scrooge seeing that is kind of a big slap in the face, saying, you're 10 times his age and have 10 times the experience in life and knowledge, and you can't even do what this little child is doing so effortlessly. And in the state he's in with nothing. Yeah, the spirit really is the spirit really is the best. He holds nothing back.
Just quotes him right back to him. Just let him die then.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And then Scrooge is so offended because he's actually humanized the people he was referring to earlier now.
Mm-hmm. I think that's very true. Like, even in real world situations, there's a lot of people that really don't care about other people until it affects them directly, or until they're actually humanized in their eyes.
So, with that in mind, let me pose a hypothetical for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he would have reacted the same way he did if he hadn't seen the Ghost of Christmas Past first?
Probably not. I feel like breaking down that wall was a really important part.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You had to remember being a child first, amongst other things.
Well, he had to remember how to feel.
That too.
How to connect with his fellow man. That's right.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. And back when he had that youthful, zest for life, and wanting to be happy and help others, and not really wanting anything for it. Do you think that Scrooge felt jealousy towards the Cratchits?
Probably a little, since he is very family oriented, so maybe seeing them have so little but still have that family connection. Maybe a little bit. Maybe not maliciously jealous, but just mourning for himself jealous, maybe, if that makes sense.
Mourning for his former self.
Yes.
No, that makes perfect sense.
He can't seem to calculate it. Well, there's at one point where he says, "Why are they so happy anyway? They don't have anything. Look at that goose; it's tiny."
It's because wealth doesn't equal happiness.
That's right.
And it goes back to what Fred says. I mean, you have this wealth and you're not even happy. And I think that's starting to dawn on him a little bit. He's starting to sort of realize that having all this wealth, this money, does not equate to happiness. In fact, it's probably made him more miserable.
You have what you want, but not what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's also, like it or not, because there is a part where Bob Cratchit and his wife are talking, and Cratchit is even giving a toast to Scrooge, and his wife is saying, I'm not going to toast to him. He's awful. He's terrible. He's the worst. And Bob says, don't speak ill of him. We have what we have because I have that job for him. I mean, even as terrible as Scrooge is to him, Cratchit is thankful for what he's given him. To the point where his wife begrudgingly toasts to Scrooge because of what he's provided for their family.
Which you can understand, can't you? Well, I was on her side, but I understand the point of it.
Plus, it's Christmas.
And it's Christmas. That's what Miss Cratchit says, right?
Yeah, yes, he does. He reminds her of that.
Dear, it's Christmas. Come on now.
Actually,
I think, didn't she say only because it's Christmas?
Pretty much.
Only
yeah.
because it's Christmas that I do this.
Yeah, she's great. But I think that affects him, though. I think that affects Scrooge in realizing that in the way that Fezziwig affected his life when he was younger, he's also affecting Cratchit's life, but in such a different way. And yet, even though he knows he's horrible and he knows he underpays and mistreats his clerk, he's still thankful for it. He refuses to even badmouth him when he's not there. I mean, he's there in spirit or with the spirit, but Cratchit doesn't speak the same way his wife does about Scrooge. He still speaks about him with respect, even though he doesn't deserve it. And how do you think that affected him? Do you think it made him feel guilty, or?
Well, it should have.
Probably a little.
Do you think the spirit of Christmas past and present got together and planned it?
I think they all got together and planned it.
They probably did. They had a little meeting with Marley and said, all right, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
It's going to be really funny.
It's a very coordinated attack, if you ask me.
It is.
That's true. I mean, all of these are, amongst other things, they're folks going out their way to be kind to Mr. Scrooge, and he never was kind back.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't deserve it in the least.
That deliberate kindness. It's easy to be cruel and uncaring, but it takes effort to be kind to especially people like Scrooge.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
But it's also good for the soul.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think up to this point, having broken down those walls of the past and making more cracks in it from the present, to seeing how the past affected the present, not just for him, but the people around him. I think you start to see that he hasn't always been bad, and he knows that. He was a kind person. He did love other people. He did have people love and care for him.
The capacity is there. The outstretched hand.
There's many of them.
People want to be merry with you. You have the ability to be merry with them. You can do it.
Yeah, he chooses not to. And
well, it's probably painful for him at this point.
That too.
Yeah.
But you know what's the best balm for that is?
The company of others. Yeah.
Indeed.
But it's hard for somebody who, has been so cold and distant for so long and has shielded himself from all those negative emotions that would accompany him breaking down those walls to suddenly one day be like, hey, I'm gonna suddenly, put myself in this very vulnerable position, start being kind, break down all these walls, feel all this pain, without some kind of external provocation.
Mm-hmm.
But there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Provocation indeed.
And I think the spirit, we were talking in jest about his biting words and throwing Scrooge's words back in his face. And I don't know, do you feel like the way he approached that was the way he needed to approach that? Do you think Scrooge needed that?
Yes.
Yeah, the
That
shock
tough
of, what I said was absolutely ridiculous, actually. Yeah, probably.
And that's what starts to make me wonder, did he actually mean what he said? Or was he just saying it to build up those walls?
I don't think he means 90% of what he says. I think he's just too scared to be vulnerable at this point.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think fear is a big part of his person.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely works in the next section.
Yeah.
For the better, at least, this time.
Well, the ending of his encounter with this ghost, after he sees the Cratchits, the ghost presents him to two children, a boy and a girl. And they are not in a good shape.
What was it? Ignorance and
Want.
Want.
And Scrooge thinks they're spirits, and he tells them, "No, these are real. This is mankind. This is of your ilk, not of mine."
I want to take back what I said earlier. I forgot about this. This is the scariest part.
It is. And the part that doesn't he present them from his robe? Like they're standing at his feet.
Oh, yeah.
Like they've been there the whole time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting because after this outward tableau of, joy and enjoyment and fulfillment and enjoying everything, they're just there underneath the thin fabric of his robe is these two children. It's very thinly veiled.
Mm-hmm.
Ignorance and want. Why those two, do you think?
With our Bacchus ghost?
Mm-hmm.
What is that, taking...
It's sort of the other side of this sort of hedonism.
Exactly. Taking too much.
Mm-hmm.
Taking things that aren't yours.
And just the ignorance of the world around you. And
Willful ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it, therefore it's not there.
Mm-hmm. What about the want?
Well, probably selfishness, greed.
Envy.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting because the girl is want, the boy is ignorance. And the spirit says, "Beware them both in all of their degree, but most all beware the boy. For on his brow I see that written which is doom, unless the writing be erased. Deny it," cried the spirit, stretching out his hand towards the city. "Slander those who tell it to ye. Omit it for your factious purposes and make it worse, and bide the end." And that is when Scrooge says, have they no refuge or resource? Have they no help? And what does the spirit say? Are there no prisons? Are there no poorhouses? It's very biting, but
Mm-hmm.
that was very ominous and very haunting, that part. And it makes you wonder, were they there all along this whole time, where Scrooge is being shown such a joyous occasion with the Cratchits and everything? I mean, it's a joy with a bit of sorrow because of, the family really has nothing and their little child is sick. But
That actually might their reveal. I mean, is kind of like the light and it being snuffed.
mm-hmm.
In that, what the words are so hard.
No, it's all right.
The illuminating light, and then he snuffs it. The
Mm-hmm. Of the past.
children there the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Losing his ignorance of things around him.
Yeah.
A
very much
warning
so.
about stopping doing
Doom.
that. Yeah.
I mean, doom is a very heavy word to use.
Indeed.
I think the spirit is kind of making a big picture statement about that, saying this is not just about Scrooge in particular, but about, everything around him.
People in general, humanity
Yeah.
as a whole.
Mm-hmm. But he also says, even though doom is written upon the forehead of the boy, that it can be erased.
Yeah, you could choose not to be ignorant of your surroundings.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can relish in all of the spoils of the present and, living life out, but being completely ignorant to the world around you is going to spell doom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's strange because between the two spirits, the first one and the second one, he waits quite a bit. I believe the second spirit just wanted to be fashionably late. But after the second spirit leaves, the third spirit is right there, waiting for him, draped and hooded, coming like a mist along the ground towards him.
That's just a testament to how quickly how quickly the present can turn into your last present.
Indeed.
It's true. Like there
Yeah.
before you know it.
Mm-hmm. And doesn't the second spirit tell him that, like, he only basically stops existing after that moment because he is the present,
Yeah.
and then the present becomes the future
Mm-hmm.
or the past?
Mm-hmm.
I like that bit about his 1800 siblings.
Yes.
I didn't understand it for a moment, and then it was rather funny.
Mm-hmm. All right, the last of the spirits. The future. He's described as like a phantom, a ghost, shrouded. I'm guessing his appearance is a way to describe the unknown.
Yeah. Uncertain, nebulous,
Mm-hmm.
moldable.
Very much, yes. A shroud is, a cloth. It's pliable. It's not like armor or something hard that's set. But it's interesting that he shows up as a frightening figure. And I think that does illuminate a lot to what Emma said about fear. Is that Scrooge fears the future. He doesn't look forward to it or have plans or, things he's working towards. He just fears it. And so when this spirit arrives to him, it is the embodiment of fear and the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it is also telling that when this spirit arrives, Scrooge, it does not speak to him. I don't believe it speaks at all.
Yeah, I don't think it did
Um,
either.
yeah, Scrooge basically speaks for it. And I think
Right.
it's,
As well
I
as he
think it's,
can.
yeah, he does.
I think he does make a couple poor assumptions, but it characterizes him.
Mm-hmm.
It does. I mean, it's pretty clear right off the bat that it's Scrooge who's died, right? But it takes Scrooge a
Mhm.
long time to figure that out
Too long.
because he
It's-
probably don't want to think that.
Probably.
Well, everyone's afraid of death to some
Mhm.
extent.
True.
You know, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's at the forefront of everyone's mind, but nobody looks forward to it. Nobody really, you know, wants to think that if they were shown an image of a death or, that it would be them. So
Right. Well, it seems impossible because how would you see it?
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it was probably just him being in denial because what he was seeing just didn't make sense and was too scary of a prospect.
This part here, when he is trying to speak to the spirit, and he says, "Ghost of the future," he exclaims, "I fear you more than any other specter I have seen. But as I know your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to live, to be another man from what I was, I am prepared to bear your company and do it with a thankful heart. Will you not speak to me?" So at this point, he's already changing. But he's still scared. Do you think it's because he thinks it's too little, too late?
Probably.
Quite possibly.
I think that's good, though. I mean, could you imagine if the fella in the robe showed up and said, "Oh, well, look, your future's going to be beautiful and wonderful because you changed as a person and everything's going to be okay."
Mm-hmm.
Things probably wouldn't turn out so good.
Just sit on his laurels.
Right. They would have said, "Phew, I'm glad I learned my lesson. Time to celebrate Christmas."
It is interesting that he chooses to show him the future as if he had not changed. Because at this point, Scrooge is saying, "I've changed. I want to make change. I want to enjoy life. I want to become the man I should have been." And he does not get shown that future. He gets shown the future that as if he did not change.
To be fair, he merely has the intent so far. He hasn't
Yes.
he hasn't had the time to actually do any changing action.
Mm-hmm. And people talk and people say whatever they want. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to do it.
Exactly.
Right.
If the book had been paced differently, then maybe what he or the ghosts maybe have been paced differently, then maybe he would have been able to see a different future at the time. But
Maybe. I mean, maybe that is telling. Maybe even though what he is saying, if the ghost of Christmas future had just been like, "Oh, all right, well, if that's the truth, then I'm just gonna go, and you're done. You're changed. We did our work." Does that mean it was a lie?
Well, I don't think it was necessarily a lie. I think it's more about whether he would have been able to sustain the change. Because what happens a lot of times is people want to change and they do a few things that are better, but then they just dip right back into whatever behavior they were doing before because it's easier, it's less work. You have to work at a change like that. It takes a lot of effort and time and energy.
It does indeed.
So it's possible that the ghosts of the future just saw, like, yes, you have the intent right now, but a few days from now, that's going to be gone. And you're going to go right back to who you were.
And really, Scrooge has it easy. He has money. which is the easiest way to help a large amount of people with little effort. He literally
It's
just
true.
has to write checks out to people and they take care of it for him. And saying that he just failed even to do that.
Well, I think part of it is like if you write the check to the wrong person, or if you you know, give people money but don't necessarily like, how do I
Personally interact?
Yeah, it's whatever you do needs to be sustainable, is what I'm trying to say. Like anyone can give somebody $5, and it would help them in the moment, but in the long run, it wouldn't really change anything.
Yeah, it's the difference between giving somebody $5 and then giving as opposed to welcoming into your house and making them a meal and
or giving them a job or giving them a house and the means to basically provide for themselves, so they don't have to rely on you. You know, that kind of thing. Like basically doing something that's sustainable.
Yeah, setting them up for success.
Exactly.
So the first scene that Scrooge is shown is a bunch of people basically robbing him blind while his body is barely cold. And it's very obvious to the reader that it's him. Scrooge is being a little dense about this.
I was screaming at the book. Well, he says, those are bed curtains just like mine. You don't say.
Girl.
No kidding.
Yeah. Girl, I wonder why.
I mean, I understand it though. I mean, it would be very shocking. And denial is a very big river. But yeah, I mean, it's basically shown no respect, no regard for actually being a human being. After he's passed, I mean, just loot him like a bank vault. And even these people that are going through his stuff, they're saying, where is it? Where's the wealth? Where is all this stuff? He didn't even live like he was rich. He's got nothing. So even in his death, with these people ransacking his belongings, he's got nothing to give.
Wow. Yeah, he gave it all to the business, I think they say at one point, right? His money. His only love, his business.
Yeah, and they very much make a joke out of the whole situation, joking about how his funeral is going to be very cheap and no one's going to show up. And I don't think they're wrong.
I mean, who would? Maybe Fred.
Maybe Fred, maybe
Fred
Bob
might
Cratchit.
be the only one. I don't think Bob would show up, honestly.
He might, out of respect, because basically if Scrooge dies, he doesn't have a job.
Fair.
But it's funny, though. They never do say how far in the future it is. Who knows? Maybe they ain't around no more.
I don't think it matters how far in the future it is, though, to drive the point home.
Right. I mean, the point is just that he ain't made no connections to nobody.
Right.
So no one's there for him when he's dead.
That and the fact that I don't know. I think the fact that he didn't live like he was rich also kind of shows that he wasn't squandering the money either. He was just keeping it. Like it was just something he had, but it wasn't being used. It wasn't being, not even by him. He didn't even get to enjoy it. Sorry, I don't know what point I was trying to make, but just
See, I'm looking for this part here.
I don't know. I feel like calling him selfish wouldn't necessarily be appropriate either, because he doesn't even use the money for himself. He just kind of stores it away.
The dragon
Right.
hoardism.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny now that you mention that. It's like the part in the beginning with he's freezing cold when Mr. Cratchit's warming himself by the candle. He don't even want to pay for any coal or anything to keep himself warm. He's gotten
Yep.
used to the cold because he deprives himself as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's cruel to himself as well as others.
So I think
Let
part
me
of
get a
it
drink
too
real
is
quick. I'll
like,
be right back.
it's not just about loving everyone else, it's about loving himself too, and doing things for himself and everyone else.
Right. Well, not even for the sake of loving himself, but for the effect it has on other people.
Mhm. I don't know. It's hard to do things for other people when you don't do anything for yourself either. You know, it's
Very true.
All right. All right. So the next significant visit he's taken to is the Cratchit's house.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a happy scene because Tiny Tim has passed.
Heartbreaking.
Absolutely. And Scrooge is very affected by this. I think he starts to realize how much he could have changed things. And good old Cratchit, he's definitely affected by his son's death, and as is everybody in their family. I believe Fred even reaches out to the Cratchits after his uncle's death and is giving their son a job, Peter,
Indeed.
because he always seems like he's very studious and trying to get work to help his family. So bless Fred.
Yeah.
And do you think that Fred extends that because of he's still not giving up on his uncle, basically? He's just taking care of it for him.
Interesting. Yeah, I suppose so. But he's looking after Mr. Cratchit in a way that his uncle never did.
And I think it's a very good juxtaposition of the way Scrooge is treated in his death and how Tiny Tim is treated in his death. I mean, nobody mourned for Scrooge. People were actually laughing and happy and joking about him. I mean, the only people that seemed to give any type of care was his nephew and the Cratchits in a way, but because it affected them directly, their families, financial situation. But Tiny Tim affected many people. And they very deeply mourned for him. Yeah, I think that was very eye-opening for Scrooge. Because I believe that he had already started to feel a little bit of sympathy towards this child. And then seeing that the child had passed due to an illness that he probably could have done something about so easily.
Right. I think that's part of it too. It's the guilt. Well, when he's telling I think it's the Christmas present. Please tell me Tiny Tim is going to be okay, that he won't die. And later he sees what his actions or inactions have wrought.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he knows he could have done something about it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really get too specific into his finances, but you have to imagine it would have been easy for him to help.
I wonder if he kind of wants to protect Tiny Tim in the way that he couldn't protect his sister. Because she was also very frail. He described her as being such. And she died pretty young, as a young adult. But I think he kind of felt that familiar protective feelings towards Tiny Tim, the same as he had for his sister. And when he saw that he couldn't save him either, he didn't save him either. And this time he could have done something about it. I don't think it really talks about how his sister passed, or I just think she was kind of portrayed as just being kind of not in good health. I think there's a link there.
Absolutely.
And I think this is kind of where Scrooge finally starts to realize that the corpse that everybody was ransacking and joking about is himself.
Yeah, it's just gnawing at him. I think he asks, doesn't he? He says, wait a minute, before we go, who was that fella?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right here, Spectre, said Scrooge, something informs me that our parting moment is at hand. I know it, but I know not how. Tell me what man that was whom we saw lying dead.
You know what I think is really interesting?
What's that?
That he doesn't actually see himself dead.
Mm-hmm.
He gets given, context clues that it's him. Mm-hmm. And then he makes the assumption at the end that it's him. Mm-hmm. But he never actually sees the body. Or the face, I should say.
Yeah, I think he has a chance at one point, don't he? Well, he can't bring himself to lift the sheet.
Something like that, yeah. And then he is brought to the church with the graves. And that's when he sees his own name on the gravestone. Even though I'm pretty sure he knew from the start what it was going to say.
Right.
About the spirit, it's always mysterious. And the reason it doesn't speak or really give any indication of much to Scrooge. I'm going to try to describe this as best I can. But the future is something that's always changing, depending on every moment of what you do. I think maybe that's why he kind of stays silent, because the future is changing at every moment, and every little decision that Scrooge makes, something could have changed. So there really is no guidance can be given. He can just show what is to become. And that's why I kind of go back to it was a little bit in jest, but about the spirits sitting down and planning everything together. But they probably had planned to show him this is the path that you're on if you do not change.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm thinking, because a lot of times you can't really like force people to change. Change has to come from within.
Absolutely.
So telling him what the future was going to be and kind of, you know, I feel like would have had a lesser effect than basically having him discover it, which is basically what he wound up doing, because he wasn't being told what he was seeing. He was seeing it and making his own assumptions and his own, and understanding the situation himself. You know, and that kind of thing. It's really hard to look at yourself, to listen to somebody else tell you the things that you're doing wrong and what they're gonna lead to. But when you come to those conclusions yourself, it has a bigger impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And all of this it's the future, so it hasn't happened. So, and it's funny because if you go back through the story, these are all things that he feared. You know, he feared having things taken from him. He feared the death of Tiny Tim. And I think he really did fear dying alone with nobody to mourn him. And so that's when it comes back to this being a dream or some kind of manifestation of his own fears, because you know, we don't know if this is actually what's going to happen in the future, or are these just things he feared the most. And is he being shown what these fears would look like? Yeah, it's definitely something to think about.
Indeed.
I guess he is shown his grave with his own name on it. And he says, "Am I that man that lay upon the bed?" He cried upon his knees. The figure pointed from the grave to him and back again. And I don't know, why do you think it was so important for this last part to be so scary? To really scare him into cementing his changes.
Fear is a good motivator. It's his fear is what motivated him to be that initial person anyway, the one that was stingy and didn't want to share and wanted to hoard everything and wanted to be ignorant of the people and the things going on around him. So when he got shown that kind of behavior would lead to his fears materializing, he was, you know, oh, okay, I need to change.
Right.
That's what kind of always had me thinking, though. I had a thought rolling around in my head, is that did Scrooge really make these changes because he felt in his heart that he needed to do it for the well-being of his soul and those around him, or was he just scared shitless into doing this?
Oh, I'm pretty sure he was just scared.
I mean, is it the fear of hell, or is it actually wanting to be charitable for the well-being of yourself and your fellow men?
I don't think it's the fear of hell. I think it's the fear of his fears that he's had all his life becoming a reality.
Oh, he's very much shown that he's going to hell. Marley makes that very apparent.
Yeah,
that he's going to hell and he's going to drag a chain around that's 20 times larger than his.
That's not going to change, you know, from some good acts done at the end of his life, right? But what might change is those things that he saw, those fears that materialized because of his behavior. So I don't know.
Right.
Like, I don't think, depending on how old he was, I mean, and how much, uh, bad he had actually done during his life. Um, his redemption might not save his soul, but it might do enough to keep his fears from realizing.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a question too. I mean, it's what Marley was saying about, well, basically, what it's all for. Well, here he's hoarded all his money, and he's been cruel to everyone, including himself, and he hasn't spent a penny of it. And where does he end up? Unmourned in an overgrown gravesite.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's described. I mean, it sounds quite lovely to me, but the book seems to describe it as something, a place where poor, unloved people are buried.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was the point of it all?
Yeah.
Well, at least what Marley said, it's just to make it, make it the what's the word? The well-being of humanity is business.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I guess we can talk about the next section a bit more, but I do think a sort of weight is lifted. A chain, maybe.
Well, perhaps this is the lifting of his chain. Maybe this does undo the links that have been added.
He's got a new purpose.
Mm-hmm. When he awakes the next morning, he is very happy to be alive. It's just kind of, it strikes me as funny because he literally jumps out of bed. He's acting like he's 20 years younger than what he is, and he's thanking all of the spirits and Jacob Marley and everything for this. And he's happy to see that all of the Christmas things are still around. And I think, let's see here. What is the first thing he does? First thing he does is he calls down to a boy and asks what day it is. And he tells him that it's Christmas Day. He's very happy. And then he sends him to go buy like the big turkey.
The big one, not the big one. The big one.
And he says he's going to send it to Bob Cratchit's. It's the first person he thinks about is Bob Cratchit. Why do you think he's the first person to come to mind?
Because he's somebody that he can actually help, and probably because he feels so much regret, regarding Tiny Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's when he was with the Ghost of Christmas Present, while he was making all them snide comments about why they're happy, they don't have anything. Well, whose fault is that?
Exactly.
Well, he thinks to correct it as soon as he can.
It's a bit heavy-handed, but it's a start. And I do think it's not touched upon much, but we know that Scrooge had a tumultuous relationship with his father, to the point where his father sent him away. And I wonder if he feels like he kind of became his father in a way of mistreating people that depend on him. Not that Cratchit is like a son or anything like that to him, but he definitely depended on him. And I think providing dinner like this is kind of like a fatherly thing to do, showing support to his family. What does he do next? Let's see. Doesn't he run around in his like pajamas?
Well, yeah, I think
Or
so.
he nearly does. Yeah.
I think I like the part where he says, "I don't even know what to do.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Yeah.
just so happy."
He does. Doesn't he go around and just enjoy the day, actually? He
He
carpes
goes
that
and see
diem.
he does. He goes sees his nephew. He goes and sees Fred. Because he meets his wife, who I don't believe he's ever met. Fred, let's see. Fred really just kind of welcomes him right in. Says it's about time, old man.
He does, though.
It's about time.
Well, yeah, he does. He welcomes him in and he dines with him. Um, it says, "It is I, your Uncle Scrooge. I've come for dinner. Will you let me in, Fred? Let him in. It is a mercy he didn't shake his arm off. He was at home for 5 minutes. Nothing could be heartier. His niece looked just the same. So did Topper when he came. So the plump sister when she came, and like everybody just came, and it just acted like it was nothing out of the ordinary that Ebenezer Scrooge showed up for dinner. They were probably just so happy to have him there."
He actually gets to participate this time.
Yeah, and then he sees Bob Cratchit. Um,
He plays a
that's
mean
when
old trick on Mr. Cratchit, but
he
that's
does.
all in jest.
He does. Yes, he gives him a raise, and he also tells him that he's going to make sure Tiny Tim sees the best doctors that money can buy. And he made sure to it that Tiny Tim did not die, and it even describes him as a second father to Tim. And I think that's really important. That not only does Scrooge, get a chance to make a difference in the present, but he gets to make a difference in the future by being a father figure to Tiny Tim and reconnecting with his family. And regardless if you're religious type and you believe in heaven or hell or the afterlife, um, you really can keep somebody alive just by remembering them. And the way he was going before was, yeah, of course, he was going to be remembered, but not in the greatest way. And I'm sure nobody would be thinking twice about him within a week's time or so after his passing. But the path he's on now with reconnecting with Fred and his niece and their extended family and the Cratchits and becoming such a significant father figure to Tim, his deathbed is going to be surrounded by people that love him, and when he passes, people will mourn for him and they will have memories of him. Oh, remember when Uncle Scrooge did this and that? Wasn't that funny? Wasn't that great? Oh, we miss him. And it's such a huge difference, especially for somebody who is in the last part of their life, because he is an older man. And I think it is kind of significant in Dickens giving an example of saying it's never too late to change your ways.
Absolutely.
And Scrooge was lucky that he had the opportunities to do that. Because I think for some people it is too late sometimes. Too many bridges have been burned, too many hearts broken, too much scorched earth.
No, you always have the chance to go somewhere new and start over.
That's true.
As long as you take care not to do it again.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I think anyone who really wants to change can change, but it has to come from inside you. It can't be somebody else telling you to change isn't going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, they can help you.
Yeah, but I mean, like, for the thing is, like, it's really easy to do one or two good acts, right? Like, somebody tells you you're being a bad person, you need to change, and you go out and you decide to be a good person, and you do it for a day or two, and then you realize it's really hard.
It is hard.
And then you decide, you start slipping because it didn't come from you. It wasn't something that you wanted. It was something that someone else, basically, an idea someone else put in your head.
I see. Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's hard.
And I believe that's kind of the significance going back to the Christmas present ghost of ignorance. Because in some instances, indifference is worse than malice.
Mm-hmm.
Because one shows intent, one shows absolutely nothing. No care, nothing. No effort, no regard for anything. And I think that's kind of why he brought ignorance and associated it with doom. But yeah, in the end, it's kind of ends abruptly, which I appreciate. There's really not much else needs to be said. But yeah, I mean, do we really feel like this was something ghostly that happened to him, or was this just a dream? Left ambiguous in a way. There's really no evidence that it was anything real.
Yeah. I guess it's a matter of, do you believe that somebody would be capable of having a dream like this in the first place? When they've already sunk as deep as he had at that point. And he was in complete denial. The whole thing was kind of structured in a way to pull him out of that and to break down his walls so that he would understand what he was doing wrong and the consequences it was having on him and the people around him. But most people aren't capable of that level of, insight into themselves, especially after they've already built up those walls and sealed themselves in like he had.
All right. Any other points anybody wants to talk about in the book?
I don't think so. It's pretty damn thorough.
Yeah.
It was. Miss Harrison and I were speaking the other day. I was surprised. I ain't read it since I was a child, or had it read to me. I thought it was rather funny.
It is, in a way, it is.
Sure, there are some dour parts, and I do stand by my statement that it's very frightening, but it's funny in parts I didn't remember.
Oh, actually, that reminds me. I think one of my favorite asides of Dickens in this is when he says something about a really sweet character, and he says something like, if there's someone sweeter, introduce me.
Right. The little touches like that, it was quite charming. But there's that frightening moment where he says the spirit was closer to Scrooge than even I am to you now. And I am very close to you now. We are elbow to elbow. Well, I don't know about you folks, but I looked. I knew there wasn't any way he could be in the room with me, but maybe he was.
Yeah. Got you thinking twice.
Well, he got me. And when he's naming all those children, all the Bell's children, and he just stops. He runs out of steam. He says, the rest of them don't have names. Don't worry about it. It ain't important.
If we do it is telling though. I think Scrooge was very self-aware. Um, and we talked about walls and about hindsight and everything, but I feel like he was very aware of what led to what he was doing now, and he was just so stuck that he just felt like there was no escaping it.
Like, everyone thinks I'm grumpy, so why change anyway?
Mm-hmm.
For yourself, Angel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, goodness. We've been talking for a good 2 hours or so. But I do have a plan for our next meeting, and I think this is going to be fun. I know everyone's probably familiar with Edgar Allan Poe. Strangely, a lot of people are not familiar with his detective stories. With Auguste Dupin, he's actually a detective that influenced many other detectives, including Sherlock Holmes, a more recent fiction literary character. But Poe wrote 3 short stories: "The Murder in the Rue Morgue," "The Purloined Letter," and "The Mystery of Marie Roget." And it's those 3 stories are the only ones to have this character. And I have read them. It's been a bit, so it'll be a bit of a review for me. But they are actually very good detective stories. And I think if you have not read them, you'll be surprised that not many people are familiar with them.
I'm so excited.
But
yeah.
It's 3 stories. They're all short stories. They shouldn't take too long to read. But yeah, I think it'll be very enjoyable. And how much time do you think we should give before we meet and talk about those? I know the holidays are coming up.
Well, I'm not sure. Well, it's just 3 short stories. I mean, it don't sound too long.
No, it's not too bad. And they're very fun reading, so I go through them pretty quickly.
I've got much too much time on my hands, so...
Oh. I feel like I usually have the opposite problem.
Actually, shoot. I forgot we're getting Christmas orders. Maybe I don't have too much time on my hands anymore.
Well, maybe after the holidays then.
We could do it a little bit before. Is Monday still a good day?
Sure, as long as you don't mind me coming in late.
I could. Would it work if it was a little bit later, maybe around 5 instead?
Sure, I wouldn't want you to move it on my account, but
it's all right.
Yeah, certainly.
Does that work for you, Imogen?
Yes.
Okay, Emma.
Should work.
Okay. How about the 18th?
Sure.
We'll give a little over a
18th.
week to read them. Because I usually read through them a couple times and make some notes and everything, so that should give us plenty of time. And then I
feel foolish I didn't do that time. You all noted things. I didn't note anything. I just read it and let it leak out my head.
That's perfectly fine. Yeah, and then we can continue after the new year. If we want, I don't know how busy everybody is over the holiday, but I can... Perhaps we could read something a bit longer, since we'll have a little extra time.
Sure. I know folks will be traveling too, so they could bring it on a carriage or a train.
That's true. But yeah, and if you ever have any suggestions, anything you'd want to read and discuss, just let me know.
Certainly.
Well,
I just picked up this book called The Helpers, but I don't know if it's any good yet. I'll have to tell you.
Well, thank you everybody for coming. I know it wasn't very many of us, but I think it was just fine. How it was.
It was lovely.
Absolutely. And I know that you're in the play, Jim. But I hope... Emma, are you going to see the play?
Are there still tickets?
For the 6 o'clock show, I believe there are some tickets left, yes.
What day is it again?
The
So it's the
15th.
15th. It's a Friday, if memory
Friday.
serves.
Next Friday.
I should be able to.
Next
do that.
Friday.
Who do I
Oh,
need to buy it
Lord.
from?
Yeah, it's only the 4th, Jim.
Oh no, it's
What?
so soon.
Who do I need to buy tickets from?
Just talk to Zoe. Just send her a telegram.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, you are all free to go whenever you like. You can take some extra food and drink if you want. I made a bunch.
Oh, you did indeed. What a spread.
I wasn't
Uh,
sure who was going to be here, so.
Well, much appreciated. I'm gonna be right back.
I'd grab a cake.
Oh my God, there's Johnny Cakes.
Oh, I love the holidays so much.
Ain't they great?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm very excited about the next one. These are very good stories. And I mentioned them to people, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know he wrote those." I'm like, "That's such a tragedy because they're so good."
Yeah,
so
I don't think
creative.
I've read much of him at all. I always hear the name, of course, but
Well, most people know him for more of like his more gothic horror stories
right.
and his
Doesn't he do
poetry.
the one where the fellas gets in the wall and the raven is there?
There's the one. Well, the Raven is a poem that he wrote. Then there's a Telltale Heart, the one about the man that, is under the floorboards.
Yeah, that
And
one's scary.
and I believe there's the also something with the walls with the black cat as well, which I really like the black cat. But it's very psychological. A lot of his stories are. And I wouldn't mind reading some of them in the future if we want to.
I've got my 2 cows are named after some of the women who die very young in his poems.
Oh,
Annabelle Lee
goodness.
And Annabelle Lee
and Lenore.
And Lenore, yeah. Yeah, I remember for Halloween I read you Annabelle Lee. I read everybody Annabelle Lee at the fire.
Yeah, I remember.
Wow.
Good. Yeah, she reads those poems sometimes.
There's one, the bells though. We shouldn't read that one to Ira. I don't think he would like it.
No, you wouldn't. I would still read it to him though, just for his reaction, just for that.
Yes, Poe has a poem about bells that is almost as maddening to read as it is to listen to bells nonstop chiming and gonging and drilling into your brain.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, he had a way of writing, that's for sure.
You ever think you do poetry? I mean, I know it's more of a book club for novels and whatnot, but
I thought about doing maybe some poetry readings where people could read their own poems or read just a poem they like or anything like that. I think that might be fun.
yeah,
We could read some poetry and discuss it too.
It's certainly not my own, but there's a. Well, have you ever read Mr. Whitman? I love Leaves of Grass, well, there's plenty I would read from it and discuss with a bunch of folks.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, we could do that. Well, I don't know if y'all have to catch a train.
Oh, I suppose so.
I'll just be settling in here, keeping warm.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't want to interrupt it, especially as I came late, but this is lovely. I mean, it
Oh,
was
yeah.
lovely the first time with the fire here, and then in the night with the snow falling, the
Snow
lamp
is.
outside. It's beautiful.
It is. Snow is beautiful when I'm indoors looking at it next
Yes.
to a fire.
Yeah, trust
Well,
me,
you
galloping through
bundle
it
up
was a
enough.
pain.
Oh, I
Oh.
bet. And it was still like blizzarding when you came by here.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I wouldn't have been able to see.
Yeah. Luckily, I've done that trip multiple times, so it wasn't too bad.
Thank you all for coming. I appreciate you all.
Thank you for
putting
having
this
us.
on.
Yeah, and we'll plan it for Monday the 18th at 5:00.
Monday the 18th, and we're reading the detective short stories of Mr. Poe.
There's 3 of them. Yeah.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Did you need me to give you the titles of them again? If you want to write them down.
Sure, if you don't mind.
All right. And if you want to read them in the order they were composed, the first one was The Murders in the Rue Morgue. The next one is The Purloined Letter. And the last one is The Mystery of Marie Roget.
How do you spell purloined anyway?
Purloined. And I believe it means
Yeah,
like
that's way
stolen
off.
or pinched.
Right. Okay. Well, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am as well.
Gonna have to get another box to carry all these books with me. Well, you
you'll-
folks have a good one.
You'll travel safely.
Thank you. Woo. That's a bracing chill.
A little bit.
Well, I gotta head down to the stables. I stabled up last night, and I stayed here in the city. I felt like such a fool in there.
No. You're insightful.
Insightful. That's a new one. Well, thank you. Well, you definitely are as well. You seem to know what you're talking about. Sorry, I could never speed up a little here.
No, you don't have to. I could always be
It's
polite and
just my
slow
leg.
down.
No, not at all, not at all. If the fella's ever gonna drop a log on your leg, tell him not to. That's my advice to everyone.
Sounds like good advice.
Indeed.
Bonjour.
How'd your lesson go yesterday evening?
It went very well, actually.
good.
She quite enjoyed engraving. She's actually pretty good at it too. She's very the sharp edges and the corners of the triangles and squares were a little rough, but her circles are very good, which is probably the most important shape to do well anyway, because we do so many organic shapes. I was looking through what engravings we usually end up doing for people, and it's almost exclusively letters and animals.
Oh.
I think there's maybe one pocket watch that had a 4-pointed star on it, but also a fish. So
But also a fish.
so the star
Or someone's pet fish.
the star was sharp and had the corners and the edges, but no, it was mostly organic shape as well. So doing well on circles and
Alright.
curves. I think she's gonna do quite well.
The organic, that's like curvy like plants.
Yes.
Well, some plants anyway.
Some
Okay.
plants. True, true.
Well, good. I'm glad that I'm sure she's benefiting from your tutelage.
She did say that, so that's probably true.
Well, there you go.
I might actually have to
Oh my.
get her to help me out a lot for getting ready everyone for Christmas.
Yeah, you know, I ought to give some thought to that. So what the hell am I gonna get anyone for Christmas? To be honest, it's been a little while since I, well, to be honest, since I bothered. Well, especially feeling like Mr. Scrooge nowadays, I ought to. Well, there was only one or two people I would ever send one to anyway, but now there's so many folks that I suppose I ought to be grateful.
Fair enough. It was lovely seeing you.
You too. That was wonderful. I'm glad I got to make it. Usually it's outside my time, so.
Oh, then I'm extra glad you got to make it.
Oh, yeah, me too.
You travel
Hello,
safe
Cecily.
and take care.
You too, you too. Good luck with all them orders.